Hey everybody, welcome back to Going for Two with Jack Taylor. My name is Jack Taylor.
My name's Hunter too.
And week 6 of college football. It's no more fun than it was last week. Welcome back.
Yeah. Fun times here.
This is certainly one of the football seasons for Mississippi State, and this will certainly be one of the episodes for Going for Two. At this point, we're just living for the pick'em, which doesn't even have any implications. It's just fun, and the Instagram questions. So thank you guys for sending those. We'll get to those obviously at the end of the show. We will do some sort of review of last week's game and a bare bones preview of this Western Michigan game, which might be one of 2 games that Mississippi State wins from here on out. Again, if you came here for sunshine pumping, keep on going. This is not what you're going to find here.
There's a thing that goes around. It's like, you're not mad about the Alabama game. You're mad about South Carolina. Yep. I am mad about every game.
Yeah, I promise. If we're 3-2 right now with a win over South Carolina instead of a loss versus South Carolina, I'd be a little happier. But we just look just as bad in every single game that we play. So, but as we're low in our spirits, you might think we're in need of a little motivation. So we have that, actually, an AI motivation. And usually we tell you the source. We tell you whose point of view this is supposed to be from. But this time we decided not to tell you. It'll be a little game that the listeners have to guess. So listener, listen up, because this is AI motivation from an anonymous source. Brothers, I know you're feeling low right. I know you're feeling low right about now. You've been losing games left and right, and you're not even close to the top of the SEC West. You've been getting beat by teams that you should have crushed. Nope. And you're not playing like the Bulldogs that you are. You've been having trouble moving the ball, stopping the other team, and making big plays. You've been making errors, giving up turnovers, and allowing sacks. You've been disappointing yourselves, your coaches, your fans, and your school. But brothers, let me tell you something. You can't quit now. You can't let this rough patch break you. You can't let this bad vibe and fear get into your heads and hearts. You can't let this season go to waste. You have to bounce back. You have to dig deep. You have to find that spark, that drive, that pride that you want to play for Mississippi State in the first place, that made you want to play for Mississippi State in the first place. Brothers, you have to remember who you are. You are Bulldogs. You're tough. You're loyal. You're strong. You're winners. You have a history of overcoming odds, defying critics, and proving people wrong. You have a tradition of excellence, hard work, teamwork, leadership. You have legacy of greatness, of champions, of legends. Brothers, you have to believe in yourselves. You have to believe in your teammates. You have to believe in your coaches. You have to believe in your fans. You have to believe in your school. You have to believe that you can turn this season around and that you can win the next game, that you can make it to a bowl game, and that you can shock the world. Brothers, you have to train hard. You have to say your prayers. You have to eat your vitamins. You have to study film, learn from your mistakes, improve skills, execute plays. You have to practice with intensity, with focus, with discipline, with enthusiasm, and you have to prepare for every opponent, every situation, and every challenge. Brothers, you have to play with heart. You have to play with passion. You have to play with courage. You have to play with pride. You have to play with respect. You have to play with honor. You have to play with everything you've got. Brothers, you have to listen to me now. I've been where you are. I've faced the highs and lows of this business. I've been cheered and booed by millions of fans. I've won and lost championships. I've made friends and enemies. I've seen it all and done it all in this industry. But brothers, let me tell you something else. Nothing compares to the thrill of stepping into that ring, or in your case, that field, that's a little hint, and putting on a show for the people who love you and support you. Nothing compares to the feeling of giving your best and achieving your goals. Nothing compares to the glory of being a champion. So brothers, what are you waiting for? Get up from that locker room floor and put your helmets and pads on. Get out there and show them what Mississippi State football is all about. And brothers, one more thing. I want to call out some of the players on the team who need to step up their game. Will Rogers, you're the quarterback and the leader of this offense. You need to be more accurate with your passes and more careful with the ball. You completed only 60% of your passes for 1,090 yards and 8 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That's not good enough for a senior who's played 29 games in his career. You need to improve your decision making and your pocket presence. Rylan Godey, you're the tight end and the target of this offense. You need to be more productive with your catches and more versatile with your routes. You've only caught 3 passes for 28 yards and no touchdowns in 3 games while making 2 starts. That's not impressive for a graduate transfer who's played 25 games in his career. You need to get open more often and make more plays. Jordan Davis, you're the defensive end and the leader of this defense. You need to be more disruptive with your pass rush and more consistent with your run defense. You've recorded 5 sacks and 35 yards lost for 9 tackles and 9 tackles for loss for 40 yards. That's impressive, but not enough for a graduate transfer who's played 25 games in his career. You need to pressure more quarterbacks and stop more running backs. DeCamerion Richardson, you're the cornerback and the playmaker of this defense. You need to be more aggressive with your coverage and more opportunistic with the ball. You've intercepted 2 passes for 29 yards and defended 4 passes. That's not good. That is good, but not outstanding for a senior who's played 28 games in his career. You need to cover more receivers and create more turnovers. Brothers, these are just some of the players who need to who need to step up their game, but you all need to do your part. You all need to work together as a team. You all need to support each other as a family. You all need to play for each other as a brotherhood. Brothers, you have the talent, the potential, the opportunity to turn this season around. You have the power, the spirit, the will to win every game. You have the heart and the passion and the pride to be champions. So, brothers, are you ready? Are you ready to fight?
I think that was I don't know if they're going to be able to guess who that was.
I don't know. The whole in the ring thing.
Yeah, that might have given it away, maybe. But
How long was that?
it appeared to be 5 minutes.
Well, that was lovely. Thank you guys so much. If you're still listening to this, or if you've just skipped and made it to this point, I'm sorry.
Imagine if we sold a sponsor spot for the AI motivation.
Man, we would be making tens of dollars.
We'd be making dollars.
We'd be making ones of dollars.
Singles of dollars.
Yeah, well, there you go. That provided enough entertainment. I don't even think we have to talk about the Alabama game, but since we've made a commitment to do so, let's talk about it a little bit. I will say I watched much more intently to the Ole Miss and LSU game. This game became an afterthought, and after I saw Milroe run for 50 yards into the end zone, jog 50 yards into the end zone, I really put it on the back burner. But I'll start out with a positive, like the blood type, a single positive. Our defense started out hot, a defense that has been bad for coming into this game. 4 out of 4 games they've been bad. They started out really hot against Alabama. Through the first 2 drives, they sacked Milroe twice. They forced 2 fumbles. One of those is actually on a punt return. So it's not the defense, but defense and special teams, whatever. We forced 2 fumbles and then forced 2 punts. We forced one of them was a 3 and out. One of them was a 4-play drive. But man, it looked so good.
Yeah,
and we had a crowd of over 60,000. The defense started hot. We had everything in place for our offense to come in and then take the game by storm, score on the first drive, and we might could make something happen. But I'll just let you fill in what exactly the offense decided to do.
I wanted to point to we were severely undermanned for the defensive line in this game.
Yeah.
Kind of horrible, but we had Dontarie Russell back. One of the young guys that we wanted to see play, maybe some speed. And on those first 2 drives, instant difference.
Yeah,
that was really good to see. But you just knew going into this game, and not sure how it's going to go the rest of the season, that there wasn't much depth.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, after that first punt, of course, because why not? It was down at the 1, so that drive didn't do much. We kind of just got it out of the end zone so we could get a punt off.
Ran a QB sneak with Will, so that was fun.
Yeah. And then just 2 3 and outs, and then a pick six. So that was kind of fun.
Yeah, and like I said, our defense started out hot. I know I mentioned the crowd, but a crowd of 60,000 might not seem like much, but it was getting in the Alabama. It was getting in their heads. Like you could tell that it was making them struggle in the first couple of drives. I mean, some miscommunication with Milrow and on a play call caused a snap to go off his helmet, and we weren't able to recover that. But I mean, there was some obvious issues there with communication because of the crowd, and that's what the team's been begging for, is the crowd to show up, and 60,000 plus showed up for the first time this year, and that's what we give them. So the 2 3 and outs that our offense ran, and then after the pick six, our defense only held Alabama to one scoreless drive the rest of the game. So for the second, third, and fourth quarters, there was only one scoreless drive in there. So that's a pick six is pretty demoralizing there. I mean, obviously, the defense kind of shut down after that. And that just brings me into Will. Will, it seems like the staff is prepared to die with him, prepared to go down with the ship. And just in this game, his 3 interceptions, one of them being a pick six, but his 3 interceptions led to 17 Alabama points. 14 of those were in the first half. The pick six, and then the really terrible interception with 1 minute to go in the half, and they're able to score 30 seconds later, three plays later. So that's 14 points in the first half. Just gonna say, going into half down 21 is that's pretty much a guaranteed loss. But can you imagine those 2 interceptions don't happen and we go into halftime down 7 with that crowd still in the game, and we get the ball in the second half?
Yeah,
and I know it's a different game at that point, but we came into the second half and scored on the first drive.
And so we had good drives before we you saw the Arnett thing about what he said about before halftime, running it, trying to go score.
Yeah.
No, don't kneel there. Scared money don't make money.
Yeah. I mean, you have a minute, and I don't know what our timeout situation was at that point, but it doesn't matter.
It's college football. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's on number 2. Go out there and make the plays. I really don't want to hear Zach Arnett. I don't think he has to take up for Will. Why does he have to take up for him?
Will's a quarterback who, in his last 3 years, has been really good at 2-minute drills. So, I mean, why not there? We have a great kicker for the first time in a while. Get him into his field goal range. 3 points. Come on.
But that's just on number 2 there.
Yeah, it really is. First play of that drive. Man, that sucks. Yeah. This week this past week marked another week of starting quarterbacks just tearing us up in SEC play. Yards wise, obviously Milrow didn't tear us up, but just percentage wise, he was 10 of 12. It moves the line these past 3 weeks at 58 of 66, 88% between Daniels, Spencer Rattler, and now Milrow.
Do you remember a pass breakup during that time?
I really can't. I really can't.
It's kind of brutal.
I mean, the one against South Carolina might be considered a pass breakup, but there was a clear pass interference.
It's kind of wild.
I don't understand.
Our defense cannot do much.
No.
And I mean, we can say, "Oh, it's gonna get better." Are better bodies walking through the door? It appears that they are leaving. It's not good. It's not good at all. 88% completion percentage against us is crazy.
That is a number I've literally never seen. I mean, that's so wild
What's
to me.
the SEC single season record for a quarterback?
I mean, Will was like dangerously close to that with like 75 or something like that. I mean, that's unbelievable, and that's Milroe. I mean, it brings me into this point. I mean, truly coming into this game and now looking back at it, I mean, this is not one of the better Alabama teams we've played in the last 16 years. I'll have to say that because that's how long their winning streak against us is. This is probably one of the worst Alabama teams that we've played in that time, and it's I think easily might be the worst quarterback situation we've seen from them. I mean, at the very least, they've had a game manager. At their best, they've had Heisman Trophy winners, um, and we had the best crowd we've had in probably 2 years, maybe 3 years. Start the game good on defense, and we're still never in this game at all. I mean, not at
And
all.
we put up like okay drives offensively.
Yeah,
which sucks because the rest of the game was awful.
yeah.
And this Alabama team, they're not that good. I did a little SEC single season completion percentage thing. The highest ever was Mac Jones in 2020 at 77.4. So here we are.
Stupid. Yeah, I know. I talked about how big of a deal it was for us to go down 21 at halftime. Just Alabama scored 31 points in the first half against us. 24 of those were given up by our defense, but so 14 of them were Will Rogers is responsible for. Just going through the 5 games that Bama's played at this point, they scored 28 in the first half against Middle Tennessee. They scored 6 in the first half against Texas, 3 in the first half against South Florida, 6 in the first half against Ole Miss, and then 31 in the first half against Mississippi State. That's the saddest stat I've ever seen. Maybe sadder than the 88%. Nah, it's not sadder than the 88% completion percentage, but it's up there.
I don't know how it is this bad. Is this the part where we talk about firing Arnett?
I'll let you take that.
Okay,
I'm not quite there.
Yeah, so I don't. If you're listening to this, you probably listen to other Mississippi State media. An article came out over on 3 by one of their national guys. It was the hot seat rankings, and Zach Arnett made a list. That was interesting, and they had his full contract details. I don't know this, but it just doesn't seem like a national writer would go out and be like, "Hey, look, a 3-2 team with a first-year head coach. Let me do a Freedom of Information Act request to see his contract. Just to, check it out." I mean, they're like the record that we expected them to be. So, I mean, why would a big national guy check it out? Contract looks good on paper for Mississippi State firing Arnett after year 1. We would own 50% of his remaining contract, but if he gets another job, that subtracts out of the amount. So say he went and got a defensive coordinator job in the Big Ten, made $1.5 million, we would be firing him for like $500,000 over the next 3 years.
Yeah.
So very, very cheap.
Right.
Keep in mind, like, the Jimbo Fisher thing is over like $76 million.
Yeah. Well, what about who would be some potential replacements? Obviously, Matt Brock getting promoted to head coach, but
I'm not too sure who we would even target at that point. Gus Malzahn has been a weird name. I don't know about that one. I would like it. Not sure how the rest of the fan base would like it. Jake Dickert at Washington State. That's a pretty good one. And then Mike Elko at Duke. What he's done there has been very, very impressive. See if he can bring
How long
over
has he
to
been there?
USC and everything. I think like 2-3 years.
Okay.
2
Man,
I think it's 2.
that's been a quick turnaround for them.
It's kind of impressive. I mean,
Um,
Mike
I'm
Elko, if
not.
we could get him, would be kind of neat. Not gonna lie.
I am not quite there on firing Arnett. I know I might should be at this point, but I just
What game are we
at
gonna
some
win the rest
point
of the season?
what
What 2 games are we gonna win the rest of the season? Well, 3 games. Give me the 2 non-cons and the SEC game where that we're gonna win.
can we only win 3?
I mean, I think so. I
I
think
mean,
it's gonna be hard
definitely.
to win 3.
I think we will win one SEC game. I don't know which one that will be, but I think we'll win one. I do
We can
wish,
stop a cold. Is the issue.
and I just wish our coaching staff would stop saying stuff like, "Yeah, Mike Wright really deserves an opportunity," or "Yeah, this player really deserves this," or "Our team really should have done this." I'm like, you're the coaching staff. Like, if stuff's gonna happen, do you want a fan to come on the field and make the change? Like,
Arnett said like we had a poor plan for the 4th time this year. It's week 5, right?
I mean, I'm all for a coach like taking the blame if it's something that he's done, but if it's every single week, I mean, it's insanity at that point. But that's not even my main complaint. It's literally just them like agreeing with the fans that yeah, this player does deserve a chance at this position or something, and them not giving it to him, and it's like they're just willing to die with what they decided preseason was going to work, and not willing to make any change. So
I really don't see a path for more than 5 wins.
right,
I honestly, at the moment, don't see a path to. I think we might be winning 4.
yeah, that's kind of I'm at a point where I'm going to be happy with anything more than 4. I've come to terms with that, and that's going to put an end, obviously, to our one calling card. I think Mississippi State is claiming to is that we've been to a bowl game every year for the last 13 years. So that's a fun first year for Zach Arnett, but I do think he will get a chance to be the coach next year. That's my prediction.
I'm
All right. Last thing with the Bama game, we finally did get our passing touchdown against Alabama. Not only did we get a passing touchdown against Alabama for the first time since 2014, first time at home since 2011. So, big day for Mississippi State. Couldn't do it in the air raid, but what?
Scoring double digits was kind of fun.
Yeah, there you go. So that's going to be it for our Alabama review, as fun as that was. And we have just a few things here on Western Michigan. If you're just a casual college football fan, which maybe some of you guys are, you may not have heard of Western Michigan before, but just a few years ago, 2016, they made it to the Cotton Bowl after a 13-1 season. Since then they've been pretty average. They've made it to a bowl game in 3 of their past 6 seasons under head coach Tim Lester. He was fired at the end of last season, and now Lance Taylor is their head coach. Their biggest win in recent memory, other than that, obviously 2016 season, was a 44-41 win against Pitt in 2021. In that same year, Pitt won the ACC, and their quarterback Kenny Pickett was a Heisman finalist. So it wasn't just some like crap Pitt team. It was their best team ever. Well, that might not be true.
I think
Pitt
they have like 7 national championships. If I remember
I forgot about
NCAA
that.
correctly.
I forgot about that. That's one of this century, maybe. I think that's right. But yeah, so this is their first year under head coach Lance Taylor. They're 2-3 this year. They have wins over Ball State and St. Francis, which sounds like a school you only hear about in March. And yeah, they have played 2 Power 5 teams up to this point and got blown out by both of them, 48-7 by Syracuse and 41-10 by Iowa. So
Iowa does not score 41 points. That is not what Iowa does to teams.
yeah, so I think we're safe. We are 20, 21 point favorites or something like that. So Vegas believes in us. But do we? Probably so. But yeah, I mean, we're their last Power 5 team, so that they'll play. So they're stacking them early, and then they might turn into a pretty decent team in the MAC later. I don't know. I have no idea. Not really interested in what Western Michigan does from here on out. But that's what I have on the Broncos. Yeah, you got anything to add?
Nope.
All right. Well, then that will move us into our Week 6 pick'em. Last week, Taylor Garvey, Denton's wife, shocked the nation by going 10-0. She was one of two people that sit in her picks and picked Ole Miss. So that she won that game, obviously, and then won the other 9 as well. So congratulations, Taylor. And, the winner these past 3 weeks is staying in the Garvey name. So Hunter, in our little contest we have going on, Hunter took a 2-game lead last weekend after he went 9-1, and I went 7-3. So
I'm just a ball nowhere.
So the season standings are at Hunter at 35-15, and at me at 33-17 after 5 weeks and 50 games. So Hunter, I'm going to let you start off with game number 1 for us.
Yeah, and before we get into these, there's a lot of differences in this.
Yeah, there really are. I think we're different.
Good week of football here.
Yeah.
So we're starting out. Number 12 Oklahoma versus number 3 Texas at the Cotton Bowl. I'm excited to watch this one. Oklahoma looks really good. All their stats are great and everything, and then you look at who they've played, and it makes you question them a little bit. The close game against Cincinnati. I'm going Texas in this one. I think Texas is maybe the best team in the nation right now.
Yeah, this will be a good chance to prove it. It's a game that's a 5.5 point spread Texas's way, and they won this game 49-0 last year. So Oklahoma's really done a lot in a short amount of time, but I do think Texas will take this one. So.
Okay. Next, we have the Battle of the Tigers. Number 23 LSU at number 21 Mizzou. This is the movable object versus high-speed train. Mizzou has like a top 5 passing offense by efficiency, and then LSU. We saw what happened to them last week and what has been happening to them recently. I'm gonna go Mizzou here. Let's get weird.
Yeah, I don't really know why I'm continuing to be a believer in LSU. I think it's just the name LSU. I want the Mizzou magic to continue happening, but I am going to pick LSU in this game just because of their name, I guess.
Okay.
I did sit and watch them, give up probably over 600 yards to Ole Miss the other day, and I'm still picking them. So
Ole
that's
Miss at 300 yards, 300 plus yards passing and 300 plus yards rushing. It's crazy.
That's so fun.
Yeah. Next game, battle for the SEC West, maybe. Number 11 Alabama versus unranked Texas A&M. Normally the unranked team wouldn't be favored here. Things are getting a little bit weird. There's some weird stuff with Milroe. Maybe he has a hamstring. That's been going all over Twitter. And the line's moved 4 points, so now Texas A&M is favored. I think A&M's the better team. I don't know what position group Alabama is better than A&M at.
Yeah. And a couple of weeks ago, Weigman went down, and thought that might be the end of it for A&M, especially after they've already lost to Miami second loss could be really big for him, but Max Johnson might be the guy. So Texas A&M, as they usually do against Alabama, they're probably going to play their game of the year, and Alabama just might not be very good this year. So both of those things are going to combine, and I think A&M's going to win this one too. So
Okay. This one's a little bit fun. Number 24 Fresno State at Wyoming. If this was an expanded playoff year, this would probably go a long way in deciding who gets into the playoffs. Being that sixth highest ranked conference champion.
mm-hmm.
This is going to be a fun one. At Wyoming, we discovered hard place to play. So
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going Wyoming here. Picking against Fresno State for maybe the first time ever.
You're not gonna pick them, so I'll do it for you. I'm gonna pick Fresno State to win this one. I know Wyoming was the talk after week 1 for beating Texas Tech, but Fresno State, I've heard nothing but good things from them. I have not watched a single second of them playing football, but I always hear you talking about them, so they must be.
I just enjoy Fresno State, but I'm picking against them.
Yeah, that'll be another one we disagree on. So I'm picking Fresno State there.
Do you want to do the back half?
Sure, you got it. All right, so game number 5, we got number 20 Kentucky at number 1 Georgia. We've seen Georgia stumble in just about every game they've played this year, but last week was probably their biggest stumble yet as they came down to the wire against Auburn. They were able to get a win with Brock Bowers having just game of his life. But playing against Kentucky this week, Kentucky is undefeated and looking really good. But I'm still taking Georgia in this one.
Yeah, this is the seems like every year Kentucky is undefeated. Kentucky's good. Will they make the jump? Oh, now they're on the road. Sorry about that, Kentucky. You're a different team away from your home fans.
Sometimes they're number 9 when this game happens. Sometimes they're number 12. This time they're number 20. So it doesn't seem like that kind of game for them, but it is.
When the Pac-12 is taking up like 9 spots, I mean.
Yeah, for real. Number 20 is the new number 9. So
yeah, I'm going Georgia here.
Okay, gotcha. All right, game number 6. We have number 10 Notre Dame coming off that win against Duke last week at number 25 Louisville, who is just at least been a shock to me. I don't know if it's been a shock to everybody, but they're undefeated and ranked now. So Notre Dame at Louisville. Who do you have in this one?
Notre Dame coming off of back-to-back really emotional games. 2 weeks ago, the Ohio State game at home, they weren't able to win that one, went down to the wire. And then last week at Duke, Duke is super scrappy team.
Yeah.
Did you watch the video of they did all the coaches' headsets during their cinematic of the 2-minute warning?
No, I didn't.
And it was just the full thing. It was
what
awesome.
The heck?
Yes, it was their cinematic recap, and it was just that 2-minute warning. Fantastic. If anyone out there hasn't seen it, please go watch it. It's great. College football's the best. But coming off of 2 back-to-back emotional games like that, and then going at Louisville, I'm going to take Louisville here. Is Louisville good? I have no clue. This is, the part of the year where there's an ACC team that's randomly ranked. Don't know if they've played anyone who matters, and they just get a win. So.
Yeah, I know. Coming off the 2 emotional games, coming off it was College game day for both of those. Yeah, so just a ton of hype surrounding both of those. There's going to be less hype in these, and I think they'll benefit from that. So I'm going to take Notre Dame. Again, it's surprising to me that Louisville is in this position right now. So I'm just going to call them out for being phonies. So, all right, game number 7, we have number 13 Washington State as the underdog against an unranked UCLA team in the Rose Bowl. Or at the Rose Bowl, not in the Rose Bowl. That might be confusing. I'm really not sure why Washington State is the underdog here, and I'm going to take them to win. So.
Yeah. This is a weird one that we agreed on. UCLA, last week they struggled against Utah, and I think Utah was playing 3 quarterbacks and doing a bunch of weird stuff. for the life of me, I don't know why UCLA is favored here. Like, I can't explain it.
Yeah.
So I will be going Washington State here.
It's that home field advantage, Hunter.
What
There's
home
no
field
way.
advantage?
4,000 people in the Rose Bowl is not an advantage. All right, so we both agree on that one. Moving on, game number 8, we have Arkansas at number 16, Ole Miss. I'll start us off here. There's just gonna be some sort of voodoo magic that's going on. Arkansas, obviously, in the past, we've had the 4th and 25. More recently, we've had the 52-51 game that Ole Miss actually did end up winning, but just a crazy game. Last year, I think Arkansas went up 42-6 at one point against Ole Miss, who at the time, I mean, had lost a couple games in a row and still had quite a bit to play for. I never understand this game. Truly never understand it. For that reason, Ole Miss coming off of their biggest win in the Lane Kiffin era, and I'm picking Arkansas to beat them in Oxford.
Yeah. If this was at Arkansas, I would be picking Arkansas, but I think Ole Miss just has momentum after getting the signature win for Lane. Kind of changes the whole outlook of the program. Like, I mean, if he lost those two pretty quick and then had Georgia coming up later, that was going to be a tough one to swallow there. But I'll go Ole Miss here.
All right. And then game number 9, we have UCF at Kansas. A random Big 12 matchup. Doesn't feel like it should be. But, UCF coming off of a 1-point loss against Baylor. And then
they
Kansas.
Absolutely blew that game. Did you see, the score?
I didn't know.
I think let me. Oh yeah, here it is. Let me find the scoring summary here.
Okay.
Baylor was UCF was up 35-7 in the third, midway through the third.
What?
Yes.
What? And then lost 36-35.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What the heck?
I don't know. I don't get it.
So both of these teams coming off very different losses. UCF, obviously, that just brutal loss, and then Kansas getting blown out by Texas, 40-14. So I'm really just taking Kansas here just because they're the home team. I'd be doing the same thing if it was in Orlando.
I'm taking UCF here because of Gus Malzahn.
All right, there you go.
Yeah,
it's good enough reason for anybody. All right, and then game number 10. It's America's Game of the Week. We have Western Michigan traveling to Starkville to face Mississippi State. State's trying to snap a 3-game losing skid, and what a more perfect time to do it than right now.
Two top Michigan, 14 teams in their conferences.
It has to be true.
I mean, it is.
I could not care less about the players of the game, but I'll give you a score prediction. I think that we'll win 38-17.
Okay, that's very close to mine. I was going 48-17.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have the highest of hopes about it, but that's what I got. 38-17. You have a 48-17. Do you want to do players of the game?
Yeah, why not? I can meme.
Okay. Offense, I'll go Mike Wright.
Offense, I'll go. Let me scroll. Let me find someone who looks good. That needs to be player of the game real quick. Oh, don't worry, I'm getting pop-ups on our own website. Who'd be a fun one here? Give me Creed. Maybe. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Creed.
And then defensively, you start this one.
Oh, man, you got me right there. Give me. Who's a good choice here? I've picked Hayes Hammond before. This is the best podcasting ever.
Nobody's listening right now.
Yeah. Give me Isaac Smith.
Okay. I'm just going to go Jet Johnson just because I think it'd be fun. All right. So that's our that's our score predictions and players of the week. That mean nothing.
Sure you don't want to run through the AI motivation again?
I'm brothers. I think I'm okay. Huge wrestling fan over here.
Whoa, spoilers.
Whoa,
Could have been
sorry.
a boxer.
Maybe so. Could have been a jewelry store owner, a jeweler. Steps into the ring. I don't know. That's gonna move us into our Instagram questions. Thank you guys so much for sending those. It's one of the very few things we have to look forward to on these podcasts every week, and so just love getting to answer these. First question comes from Jess Cooley. That it says, if Ole Miss wins out and beats Georgia, college football playoffs? Well, winning out would mean beating Georgia since Georgia's on their schedule. But Ole Miss doesn't have they don't control their own destiny. So who knows what would happen if they won out but didn't go to the SEC championship game?
They might control their own destiny after this week.
It's very possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, would they?
Yeah, if A&M wins and then Ole Miss beats A&M. No.
But Alabama would still have a tiebreaker.
Another.
Yeah, they need another loss. So
that's crazy.
And then
like would that have A&M number 1? Yeah.
Yeah.
No. They lost to Ole Miss. No, it wouldn't. Oh, how does that work? That may go to Ole Miss. I'm not sure how that.
Regardless, it wouldn't be after this week.
How would that tie work?
Well, surely something else would happen.
If they all 3 beat each other.
I don't know. No, we don't have to worry about it.
We just give Mizzou the West bid.
And then our last question here comes from Brooks Taylor. New predictions for the year.
4-8.
Yeah, we touched on that earlier. 4-8, and anything better than that, we just get to be happy for a week.
If this team wins 6 games, I'll throw a party.
Yeah, I'll extend Zach.
Every listener is invited to the party if we win 6 games.
Yeah.
Okay? If you send this clip after we won 6 games, come to the party. All expenses paid, except for like your travel expenses.
Yeah, we don't cover those.
When those aren't covered.
All right,
or medical
so
expenses.
That's gonna do it for our Instagram questions.
Or legal expenses.
I can't stand you. That's going to do it for the Instagram questions and for the podcast. And once again, thank you guys so much for listening. I know it's not fun to watch these football games, and it's not fun to listen to podcasts after your team loses a football game, especially when the podcast hosts are just being sarcastic the whole time. But we have a ton of fun doing this, and I hope you have a ton of fun listening to it. So for Hunter 2, I'm Jack Taylor, and thanks for listening to Going for 2. I did the thing
phones yesterday at like 1:17.
It's 1:18, dummy. I did the thing where I said for Hunter 2, I'm Jack Taylor.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Welcome to the after show.
Luke, close your ears because we're about to talk about you.
What do we have on the table today?
I bet Luke can't even solve a Rubik's Cube.
I want to play a game of listen to the sound and tell me what it is.
Mm-hmm. It's your wedding ring.
Yep.
All right, I'll do one.
Was that an AirPods case?
Nope, just an AirPod.
Oh, okay. That hand up. I think I get that.
All right. I got one more sound for you.
Okay.
No idea?
A hole puncher? Does it sound like a hole punch?
It's not a hole punch. It is a Rubik's Cube.
Oh. Let me see if I can find anything else. This is obscure.
Why is it in that pattern?
This is me opening and closing it repeatedly.
Like a Tupperware container. Dude, I have no idea.
It's this sound may get it. Let me turn this up a little bit. What'd you think?
I am clueless.
This is a Nintendo 3DS. How could you not get that?
I have no idea.
All right, that was the after show. Thanks, everyone.